I figured I would plug in my O2 or wideband sensor and read AFRs. So I have that sort of set up to go. But before I did that, I figured I'd plug in my scanner tool thingy and see, because the check engine light came on recently. And I figured, that must have something to do with the fuel, right? Because that's like the most probable culprit. So I was like, oh yeah, you know, that's gonna be a problem. So I plugged in my scan tool and I checked the codes, and it says there's only one, and it's actually the coolant temperature sensor. Seems to be bad. So that's what's causing the check engine light. So I ordered one, and I came in and I have it. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace that. Alright, so it's reading the coolant temperature now. Before you just say -40. Now it's reading 154, so it looks like that sensor is back online. So let me go ahead and clear all the codes. Alright, so the codes are cleared. And yeah, that code is not in the thing anymore. It's reading the temperature of the coolant. So it looks like it's good. I mean, obviously it might pop up again later after driving it, but it looks like it's idling around 800. Sounds pretty good. I have the wideband plugged in to the stock O2 sensor bung. So the stock O2 sensor is unplugged right now. So the truck is running off of baseline fuel map settings, probably just from the computer. And it's sort of fluctuating because the computer is probably like relearning. I didn't reset anything, so it's probably trying to relearn stuff, or you know, looking for a signal. Obviously, since the O2 sensor is unplugged, there's a check engine light, and I think it's probably just reading stock settings, and it's idling around 15. So that's pretty good. That's not bad. I haven't really let it warm up all the way yet, so I should probably do that before I take it for a drive. But it is idling better around, looks like 800 or so, 850 maybe. And from what I remember, this truck idles around 750, and it was actually doing that. It was idling around 750 the last time I started it up. But now that the O2 sensor is unplugged, maybe it's, you know, who knows. But I'm gonna go for some quick pulls up to maybe redline, or maybe just below redline. I don't really need to go to redline, but you know, just in the upper ranges, maybe 5,000, 5,500, something like that, just to see what the air fuels are. And if it starts getting too lean, I'm just gonna let out. So 15 for idle is okay, but if it starts getting into, you know, like the 15s when I'm up at 4,000 or 5,000, then that means it's running way too lean. I'll probably let out way before that, because usually at wide open throttle, I think AFs should be around 10 to 11, maybe 12. Really anything below 14.7 should be good. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and drive it and let it warm up as I'm driving around. Let's go ahead and do that. And I'll be watching the air fuel mixture as I'm driving. It doesn't sound good. I mean, it was driving fine earlier, before. So it could be bad gas. I did put in new gas, but it is struggling, and it's reading really lean. 16. I mean, it's not super lean, so it should be working. Maybe it has a bad fuel filter? It's possible. I'm just gonna maybe try to drive it around the neighborhood here. Not really go too crazy with it. Yeah. That's not sounding good at all. Huh. I mean, it was running fine for a while, and it's weird that it's not running as good now. So it's kind of in that range. It was running a little rough before as well, before I took the O2 sensor out. So I don't really understand what's going on. It was fine before. Like I said, it could be a fuel filter that's clogged or something. So I'll have to look at that. air fuels look a little bit leaner, on the leaner side, but they look okay. 16 is probably leaner than it should be, than I want. It should be around 14 or 15. Oh man. A bunch of crap just went flying. Alright, let's go down this one and I'll maybe go a little faster after that stop sign up ahead. That's 3,000. It's another 3,000. So it seems good up to 3K. It's 4,000. That was 4,500. Alright, we're back after the test drive, and everything's cleared up now. It's running great again. I think it was just bad gas, honestly. It's in the lines. It was causing it to sort of sputter and stuff, but now it seems to be doing great. I actually pushed the truck to about 6,000, maybe 6,250, like right before redline. I didn't really want to, you know, push to the limits and test redline. Because the build is still relatively new, and I guess I'm just not 100% confident that things aren't going to blow up, but it didn't blow up at 6,000, and the AFs were around 13, so that's actually really good. Working off the stock fuel tables, because the computer is not adjusting for you know, the MAF sensor at all right now, because the O2 sensor is not plugged in, so it has no idea. So it's just, you know, flying blindly. And for the stock fuel trims or whatever, the fuel maps, the air fuel ratios did really good. It's probably should be idling around 14.7. Honestly, I think that's like I think newer cars idle around 16 though, or 17 now. I know the Cord idles around 17 to save fuel, right? And so this truck, it looks like it just kind of stays in that 15 range most of the time in normal driving conditions, and then when you really push it, it goes down to like 12 or 13. So there's actually a little bit of room there on the stock injectors, which is nice. So I don't think I really have to do anything. I can just get the smog now, go get a smog check after I do the smog, you know, procedures or whatever, driving around. And you can see here now that the truck's warmed up, where the temperature gauge is in the middle, the idle's down to about 800 now. So that's pretty much where it should be, and it's not moving at all, it's just stuck there. So that's really good. And honestly, if there wasn't a hole in the floor, I don't think it would be actually that annoying or loud in here. But, you know, I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to fab up an exhaust from the existing one, the old one. I'll cut it up a little bit and stick that on there, just so that at the smog place, they're not like, oh, where's your exhaust, guy? You know, like, it's just really highly sus or whatever. Usually those guys, they want to see, you know, at least some kind of exhaust. In California, they don't really care what you do after the cat, as long as your decibels aren't too high. So I think my decibels might still be a little loud with just a tailpipe, basically, is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to L out from the cat. But the smog guys won't care about that in particular. They're going to be like, oh yeah, you know, you should probably get a muffler because, you know, you're going to get pulled over for a ticket for loudness. But they don't really have anything to do with that, as long as the car passes. So I just need to get this check engine light off by replacing the O2 sensor once the car cools down, and then driving it around a little bit, and it should be good to go. So I'm gonna prep for the smog check. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This turned out to be really good. I'm not worried anymore. I think I can drive it without really worrying too much about, you know, whether it's gonna blow up or if it's too lean or rich or whatever. It seems like it's just in the perfect range.